Welcome to the Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast. This is the Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast. This episode is going to be with my buddy Thomas, the basement decorator. So it's been a minute since Thomas has been on here. Honestly, I'm recording. We do the episode because it's a very busy day for me and the family. We're helping my mother-in-law move again. Well, I shouldn't say again, but we're helping her move some more stuff from her old house in the new house. So trying to get everything done before we go do that. However, I know it's going to be a good episode. Last time Thomas was on here was a really, really good episode, and so we'll see where it goes. I'm excited, but I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with Cody. That was a ton of fun, and I can't wait to see him and the rest of the crew up at the Whitetail Road Show. If you guys are interested in going to that, let me know. I can send you the link, or if you just want to go to dyingbreedbowhunter.com and come to the Georgia show. They still have tickets available. Me and my buddy Case from Second Amendment Outdoors, we're going to be going up there, and man, it's going to be such a good time. So yeah, before we get into it with Thomas, we got to run through these partners. I'm actually going to do these kind of quick because I know Thomas is waiting. So the podcast is brought to you by Sportsmen's Empire. That's the network that this podcast is under. If you guys want a lot of awesome episodes, a lot of awesome shows that you can listen to that aren't just this one, head over there. I don't even know how many Dan's got under the network, but it's quite a few, and they're all really, really good. Let's see. Next up, Lone Wolf Custom Gear. I am running the V2 doubles and the .75 DeQuisto series stand. Head over to Lone Wolf Custom Gear and check out all the stand options they have for you and all the pack options, all the accessories. And if you guys want to run Lone Wolf, but you want something that's maybe a little easier on the wallet, they do make the Patriot series, which is their cast aluminum series. It's just as good quality as the DeQuisto series. The only difference is you're not going to have as many of the features as you would with the DeQuisto series, but it still gets the job done. So, all right, next up, Osseo Gear. That is the camo brand of choice that I have been working with and using for the past 3 years. Joe is coming on the podcast next month. It's going to be really, really good. Can't wait for that, man. Osseo Gear to me is like the coolest and the best camo that I personally ever use. That's why my bow is completely decked out in it. So if you guys want some new camo, head over to osseogear.com. Use for everyone that's listening. I always end up doing this on Osseo's moment, I guess, but we have a bunch of discount codes in the description below, and all the links to everybody's websites are down there as well. So if you want to go support them, please go do so. It helps them, it helps me, and you guys are going to be getting really, really high quality products. And we're trying to save you a little bit of money too. Let's see. Next up, Boutique, best arrow wraps in the game. Don't have to say much about that. G5 Outdoors, in my opinion, they make the best broadheads out there. I'm running the Mega Meat again this year, maybe the T2s. Prime Archery, I absolutely love my Prime. My Prime Divide 31 is fantastic. Haven't been shooting it as much because we've been pretty much swamped out with a bunch of rain, and then of course everyone decides to move at the same time. So I haven't had a lot of free time, but planning to shoot my bow hopefully this weekend at time of recording this. But if you guys are looking for a new bow, go to your local shop or head up to Ace Hardware and Social Circle and go shoot the primes. I'm telling you, they're totally different from all the other stuff. In my opinion, they shoot a lot better. They're more stable. Absolutely love those bows. Next up, Dialed Archery. So Dialed Archery has their 1776 small batch sight. I believe it's released already, but dude, it is sick. I'm not going to be getting one, but for those of you that are in the market for a new site and you want to run something like that, go check it out. It is awesome. And Dialed has you covered in every other way as far as sites go. They got the proof for you guys that don't like the mover sites. If you want to fix pin, they have the strike. I mean, Dialed just covers all bases. Let's see. Next up, Moultrie. That is the cell cameras that I've been using. I love my Moultrie. It's been working great. I actually confirmed last night that one of my target bucks from last year, Deadeye, is still alive, still hanging around. He daylighted. So that in the past week, I've had Maleficent, which was the really big wide 8 that broke his rack early. He's daylighted this week. I've had Elmer, which was the 12-point. I guess he was like 3.5 years old. He was basically a mainframe 10 with 2 kickers on his G2s. He's shown up again, and now we have Deadeye daylighting. So look, I know it's summertime, but these mulch cameras are working fantastic. I really am praying that these deer, stick around and show up when deer season comes around. But hey, it's the Lord's will, not mine. But if you guys want a new camera, go check out Moultrie. Next up, Bow Hunting League. Um, I have not really much to say about that right now. I haven't really heard much. If you guys want to be a state sponsor, it's still $100 a year. You get a lot of the perks that we do. Bow Hunting League's been changing bow hunting for a lot of us out here, so very, very thankful to be working with them. Scrape Doctor. So Scrape Doctor, talk to James. He is getting in on the giveaway, and now's the time to get scrapes out. I put my mock scrapes out um, a couple days ago, and it's not to try and what's the word? I guess attract the deer, but it's I did it this early to pretty much establish like, hey, there's a scrape here. So when the time comes that they're actually using them for the whole breeding purposes and stuff, they know there's a scrape there and they're gonna hit it. So me and James are gonna do a whole episode on that again for y'all that don't know, or maybe haven't heard us talk about it. But if you want some scrape doctor stuff, he's got the new bead system. Head over there and check out all the products. I mean, they're all great. They always work for me. Next up, Victory Archery. I'm running the HLRs. Catalyst Archery. I've got one stabilizer on my main bow, another one of their stabilizers on my backup prime. And dude, Catalyst just makes a high quality stabilizer for an affordable price. That's literally what it is. And I know he's working on a new design. I can't talk about it yet, but it looks pretty sick. And last but not least, Unbound Archery, which is my strings of choice. Absolutely love them. No stretch, or well, they're already pre-stretched, and no peep twist. Just absolutely, you don't even have to wax them. It's the bloodline fiber. You don't have to wax that. Super, super easy to use and really, really high quality. So if you guys need new strings, head over to Unbound Archery. So that's all the partners. I can't wait to see you guys at the bow shoot. Michael Perry, I confirmed it. Michael Perry, the guy who you guys have listened to him on here a bunch of times. He's a public land wizard. Dude still holds the muzzleloader state record buck for Alabama. He is coming to the bow shoot. So I'm really excited to see Michael out there and hang out with him and, get him to be around everybody. Some guys from my church, actually shout out to Paige, one of our church members. I know he's a Sunday school teacher. I think he's a deacon. I don't know. But he is helping me, get some people from the church to show up. So, dude, it's going to be a really, really good time. Um, so this is the part where I tell you guys, if you don't know who Jesus is, listen up. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. um, Look, if you don't know who Jesus Christ is, he is he's a life changer. He saved my life. The things he's done for me, man, there's almost no words. I mean, truly, there's almost no words other than thank you, Lord. Um, he is the King of Kings. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And just this week, man, I have gone from the lowest of lows to right now the highest of highs because of him. I'm not saying I was at my lowest because of him. I was at my lowest because I tried leaning on my own understanding instead of leaning on him. And I want to give a shout out to my Sunday school teacher who was actually, I know for a fact he's a deacon at our church. Matt, you are awesome, bro. I hit Matt up with some questions about stuff, because I'll kind of tell you guys a little bit. I struggle with, like, I gave my life to Christ two or 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, and I thought it was going to be a simple change. I thought, or not a simple change, but like a drastic change, right? I wasn't going to drink anymore. I wasn't going to be going to looking at things I shouldn't, right? Let's just keep it PG for the kids if if there's any kids listening. But basically, I thought everything my old life was going to end, and it for the most part did. But there's still things about my old life that still try to pull at me, man. And not a lot of times, but sometimes I do fall to them. And it made me feel like a bit of a hypocrite. Some of you guys who listen every week, you've probably heard, some me talking about some stuff or kind of just saying I'm struggling with some stuff. Well, that's what I've been struggling with. And I talked to Matt, I texted Matt, I said, hey, am I doing this right? Like you're a deacon, right? Like you teach us every week. Help me. And the conversation we had, man, really, really helped me put it into perspective. Just knowing that I've got somebody that I can talk to about this stuff, it's great. It goes back to the men's mental health stuff, which I found out this month is Men's Mental Health Month. So any of you guys listening that have anything going on, you want to reach out to me, please do. I am open ears. My phone is always open. Matt emulates Christ in a way that I want to one day. And a lot of people I've met recently, have been doing that and been showing me. And like, I'm not saying that I'm out of the woods yet, right? Like Matt basically told me that it's very rare for someone to give their life to Jesus and then, say it's an altar call and everything they used to do, they're done, right? Like that typically doesn't happen, that it's a process. And I've been told that, but I don't think I've ever been explained it the way that Matt explained it. And it made perfect sense. And so I can't explain it other than I have a new sense of peace that I had not had before. The things that I was struggling with, I really have no interest in. Like Jesus said that whatever, I'll put it this way. He said that if your eye is filled, I think Jesus said this anyway. I know it's in the Bible, so forgive me if I'm misquoting here, but I know that in the Bible it says that if your eye is full of darkness, your body will be as well. If your eye is full of light, your body will be as well. There's probably a paraphrase, but the point is, if you're filling your life or you're focusing on things that are not of God, why would you expect to have any type of connection with Him, right? But when you turn away from that stuff and you start focusing on things from God, that's where you get the full experience, and that's when your relationship with Him grows even more. Um, I will say this week I have learned that if you resist the devil, he will flee from you. And that is, I mean, literally, I have felt that this week. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, church. Thank you, Paige. Thank you, everybody that listens to this. Go check us out on YouTube. Check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I think that's pretty much everything. I'm thinking about doing a Q&A video or episode. Um, we'll see. I'll post it if I decide to do that. And then you guys can throw in any questions you want and I'll just run them, run through them here. But yeah, man, life's just really good right now, and I have no one to thank but Jesus Christ. So Lord, if you're listening, thank you for saving me, which I know you are listening. So all that out of the way, Thomas is waiting on us. Let's get into it with Thomas, the basement decorator. I'm coming. We got my boy Thomas, the basement decorator, back on the podcast again. Dude, how long has it been since we did this? Like 2 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years, something like
God,
that. Yeah,
man, I'm so
yeah,
sorry. I
yeah.
hope you didn't feel neglected. I
No,
feel
no,
terrible.
no. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, dude. Well, see, and the thing is, like, so I I'm not on TikTok a lot, right?
Yeah,
And I know that like that I think I first heard about you with working class, then I saw your TikTok stuff and it was really, really good. And then I kind of got tired of TikTok. And then I saw you pop up on Jordan's podcast on the Mason Dixon. I was like, oh
yeah.
crap, dude, what's Thomas doing? And then episode 100, I just have to jump right into it. Episode
Oh my
100 was
gosh,
amazing.
that
It
was
was
a
so good.
debacle. That was a
Dude,
debacle. I'm pretty sure I didn't enunciate one word clearly, but
what's really bad is there were times I couldn't tell you between one of the other guests. I forgot his name, but I was like, I don't know if Thomas is talking now, but whoever's talking right now, this is great. And like the whole thing, it was just
well,
y'all
that
touched on
probably
so
was
many
not me
things.
because I was hammered the whole time. So,
I mean, I
uh,
could understand every word that was said in the podcast.
yeah,
Now,
we had a good time, and
yeah,
we covered a lot, and it was one of those nights that was it was like hunt camp. It was a
yeah,
freaking blast. So
dude, there was what's so bad. We should have done this sooner, but there was something you guys were talking about towards the end that was getting me like emotional. I want to say it was maybe men's mental health, but that's like a thing, especially with the month we're in now. Everybody wants to, throw around rainbow flags and stuff, but like I found out yesterday that it's Men's Mental Health Month. And so
yeah,
like that whenever that gets brought up, I did an episode with Dustin, and that was one of the hardest episodes that I think I've ever done.
yeah,
And it's like, dude, it just doesn't get talked about enough, you
yeah.
know? So like when you guys
Well,
bring it up, I love it.
I think hunters, we kind of live that very high highs, very low lows. And
Yeah.
this time of year, I mean, I'm always in touch with my closest friends a lot, but this time of year, you just really need to call people because like a lot of people don't have that release right now because there's nothing, turkey season's over. You can get out and scout in 100 degrees if you want. I'll pass on that. I mean, I've pulled 5 ticks off of me in the past week. So
Dude.
it's, yeah, I mean, men's mental health, I think, is something that, we don't talk about. And it's, I think we all experience it where you have those low moments where you just feel like you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
And, I've heard Dustin's story as well. And, I've heard many others too. And the reoccurring theme is, a man needs a purpose. A man needs something to live for. And this time of year is tough for a lot of people. You're stuck at
Yep.
a job you don't like. You don't have anything to hunt. Some people are out bow fishing or things like that. But, I think it's so important this time of year more than any other time of year just to reach out to your friends and just say, hey, how you doing? And if you're close enough with them, if they say okay or I'm fine, have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
And just be there for your buddies. So
Yeah, I mean that is extremely important. Like, I gotta give Dustin props, and he's gonna listen to this and be like, "Dude, thanks for the shout out, man." But that's just
yeah,
the kind of guy he
yeah,
is, you know.
yeah,
Like, he'll text me once a week and be like, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" And it's
yeah,
like, some weeks I'm like, "Bro, I'm great." Other weeks I'm like, "Dude, how much time you got?"
yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah.
And it's crazy too, because I was talking to my wife about it, and she understands it, and especially like how deep I've gotten in my faith. I wouldn't say that I get really kind of down. I mean, it happens still, but
Hmm.
having him to lean on, there's always a way to, I guess, feel better, right?
Yeah,
But not everybody has that,
yeah. I mean, I
So
mean, if you do have faith, you can go to the Lord. You can take those things to the Lord. You can pray about it.
yeah,
If you're in a church or in a small group, you got people you can talk to that feel the same way. But there's never a good reason to quit,
yeah,
ever.
no,
Like I think what happens is men will reason, I've done this, this, and this. I've hurt these people here, here, and here, and then they just do it, and there's no coming back from that. And it's funny to quote Yellowstone, but I'll never forget when uh, Kevin Costner was talking Jamie out of committing suicide. He said, "This is all they will remember of you.
yeah,
They won't remember anything that you've ever done before this. Anything after your name will always be associated with this." And there's just never a good reason to do that. So
well, thank you for spoiling Yellowstone for me, because I've only seen like 5 episodes.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah,
No, I agree though. I mean, I've been there, it's been a long time, but I've definitely been there. I mean, I did not mean to start this podcast off so heavy.
no,
I really
no, I
didn't,
mean,
but I mean, it needs to be talked about,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I had Cody DeQuisto on last week, and his it it makes me wonder like how growing up with a dad that is like Andre, right?
mm,
Love the guy, respect him, all that stuff, but having that type of pressure
yeah,
and knowing the pressure I put on myself, like during deer season or with life or whatever, it's like, dude,
yeah,
I don't know, like I don't know how people can
yeah.
do it without having an avenue, you know? Um, yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's just, so I guess basically what we're saying is anybody listening, if you need someone, reach out to us
Hit
or
us up
something,
for
please.
sure. Yeah, hit us
Um,
up.
God, all right. Well, let's brighten it up a little bit. What have you been up
Yeah.
to the past 2 years?
Wow. I have been, you know, pretty busy with hunting and stuff, but also just swamped with fatherhood. I mean,
Yeah.
in a good way. Like the past two deer season, my oldest started hunting. He's killed 5 deer in the past two deer seasons. So it's
Wow.
added a whole nother like type of enjoyment and, uh, just another element. When you're going into the woods with kids, there's a lot more stuff that you have to take. There's a
Yeah.
lot more things you have to think about. And, I still have had my trips and everything, but yeah, I've just been very busy with that. And, just trying to enjoy it. It's not going to be here forever. So,
Yeah. Well, and you're making memories with your kid too,
oh
like you're
yeah,
you're making core memories that when he's our age, he's gonna look back and be like, dang, I had a pretty cool dad, you know?
yeah, yeah.
I
He's already been like, when are we going? He's all about it.
yeah,
So
dude. All right. So didn't you he's not around, right?
no,
Okay, okay. Didn't you say on Jordan's episode that you've actually got a surprise for him this year?
yeah, I do. We are actually going to be going to Missouri with him for the youth season,
Oh, dude,
and he will be hunting with a rifle on his 10th birthday.
that is
So,
freaking awesome.
so it'll be a surreal trip. I mean, gosh, when any of us were that age, we would have been happy to see a spike, and he will be too. Like if I tell him go, he's going to go. He could care less. And as you should at that age, you should
Yeah.
care less. And but the time of year that we're going to be there, it's not if he's gonna get a crack at something, especially with a rifle in his hand. So that'll be a really cool experience. We're just going to go on a road trip, and he'll have no idea. We're going to show up at my buddy's place. So it's
man.
shout
Are you
out to
gonna film
him.
this?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
There will be three of us. My buddy actually, an incredible gift, and it's a gift to himself too. But I know he did it with this in mind. He went out and bought 2 redneck blinds, and he's gonna put them over his 2 best food plots. So we will have the ability to move around a little bit, and I should be able to have like a bog tripod in there for him to anchor the gun down. So that should be pretty fun.
Dude, what are you gonna do if like a 200 steps out?
Send it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Send it. I mean,
he's already killed other deer, so like it's not one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's my boy's first time.
Yeah.
It's his first deer was a 200 deer or 200-inch deer, and then it gets ruined, So he's already experienced.
This time of year, I'm pretty certain we'll see a pretty good 2-year-old, 3-year-old. But if something big comes out, the property owner, he's one of my closest friends in the world. His name is Jeff, and he's just all about it. And he is one of, if not the most unselfish hunter that I've ever hunted with. So
yeah,
it's an incredible gift. I know that my son will realize that, and it'll be fun to experience. So,
dude, I really, really hope that you film this. That when I heard you say that, like my heart jumped because I'm putting myself like in this situation. Like, what would I have felt like if my dad did that? I probably would have been over the moon. Like that's such a cool thing. I wish I could do that with my daughter, but I took her hunting once, and we were there for 2 hours. I think we saw a squirrel, and she was on her iPad the whole time. We were in a ground blind, and she was like 5. So what do you expect?
Yeah.
But the bad part is she keeps asking to go. It's just my ground blind got destroyed. I'm not going to go into full detail just in case the property owners are listening. And give more details later. But let's just say I lost that property.
Yeah.
Just a lot of drama. So now I know she's going to be like, hey, can I go with you? And I'm like, look, kid, I can't put you on my back when I'm hanging a stand. Like I'm sorry, but one day, I'll figure something out and get her out there. But see, I told her, I was like, listen, because she wants to kill something. I was like, I'll get this crossbow restrung. We can take your gun or your mom's gun, whatever, and we can do whatever you want to do. And she's like, yeah, let's take the gun. I was like, all right, if you kill something, you're gutting it. And she looked at me and was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, you got to. I was like, it's part of it. So
you know what's funny about kids too? Hold on. Can I get someone to shut a door real quick? I'll be right back.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're fine. All right, little intermission. I'm not going to let
Guys, shut the door.
Oh, well.
Or be quiet.
Dad life. Gotta love dad life, man. Oh, dude. The amount of times I've had to do that here. If you guys could hear the dog going crazy upstairs right now, she is going absolutely crazy.
My 4-year-old's up there playing big buck hunter on the video game type thing and just making a racket. So
that's fine. I was filling the dead space with me being like, dad life. This is what it's like for you guys that aren't dads yet.
Yeah. So, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, what I was saying about kids is I was walking out of the woods one night with my son, and I was very proud of him. We had been 4 days in a row. We hadn't seen a deer, which is real hunting. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, do you want to come back tomorrow? And he said, yeah. I said, well, what's your favorite part about hunting? And like so many times we associate fun in hunting with success. And he looked at me and he said, Dad, I just like being alone with you in the woods.
Aww.
And it's like, it really kind of checked me a couple times this year where we get caught up chasing, I'm never not going to have fun chasing a big buck, but it's not what hunting, all of it is. So, yeah.
It's a realization I've had, especially after last year. And it wasn't kid related, but dude, that spike behind me, off to my left. That's the first
Yeah.
buck I killed in 3 years. When
Yeah.
I tell you that I cried
Oh yeah.
that buck just because of what happened, like, I've told the story a few times, but like I was in the stand and it was November 1st. And I was like, Lord, I know, I always pray in the stand, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, Lord, I know I haven't killed nothing in 3 years. I have a 5.5-year-old, probably 135, 140-inch deer showing up. There's another 120 I would shoot, but I don't care what you send. Just send something, right? This is after I got busted somehow because the wind wasn't blowing. So he had to have seen me, but it was a small little, those spikes we get sometimes that their spikes are literally an inch thick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. He snuck up behind me, whatever. And so next thing I know, I just hit the grunt tube and well, apparently this deer's name is Wolverine. I didn't name him that. The neighbor named him that. But I hear crashing and I'm like, oh, here we go. And his little dinky butt comes running up the hill. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I look up, I was like, all right, I told you I'd shoot whatever. So he comes in, works the scrape 18 yards from me and just whack. And I actually got to watch him. He was probably about 30, no, he's probably about 60 yards maybe. Um, from where I was, and I watched him tail flicker, fall over, and I could hear him take his last breath. It was that quiet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember like after I shot him, I called one of my buddies and I was squatted down because it was just such an adrenaline rush. And I prayed
Yeah.
again and I said, Lord, let me find him, please. Because last year I shot a doe, couldn't find her. The year before, I ended my season shooting a doe and didn't find her. So I'm
Yeah.
like, man, is this just what it's going to be now? Nothing but shooting stuff and not finding it. And then I
Yeah.
look up and I can see him and immediately waterworks. I was like, dude, that's where I realized that chasing big deer is fun, but it's also extremely stressful. And I personally feel like it's not what we're out there to do, not what we should be out there to do.
Yeah.
It's focusing
Yeah.
so much on one specific deer because you miss everything else.
Yeah. I think what I've tried to do differently really in the past 3 years is I have my properties where the chase is fun.
Yeah.
There are big, like you can't kill a big deer unless there's a big deer on the property.
Yep.
And then I have properties where you know it's just a bunch of does, and I go out there and with the sole intent of hunting and shooting the first thing that I see.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you have to mix it up like that, because every hunter is on their own journey,
Yeah.
and you need to embrace where you're at in that moment. Now, I do think it's good for people to like kind of mature and realize new goals and everything, because if you don't have goals, then you don't really have anything that you're going for. But like, if the only way you define success is whether or not you get the big buck, you're never going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it
I mean, that was me for 2 years
yeah.
and I got humbled real quick. I think that's what it was, is like, and I always try to relate things back to like God's plan, right? I went
Yeah.
2 years after killing this deer back here saying, all right, I'm gonna kill something bigger. That's all I want. So he's 102 inches, shouldn't be hard to do, right?
Yeah.
I had plenty of deer on camera. I actually saw one that I've been kind of following for the past 2 years. I had him in 25 yards, but he was behind a bush and I couldn't shoot and it got dark.
Yeah.
And then last year, man, I went into it like, look, I'm not, all the deer I was hunting disappeared. This other spot that, 5-year-old buck's different than anything that is out there.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was like, screw it. I'll just shoot
Yeah.
what I can. Am I going to do that every year? Probably not. But I wanted to ask you too, like your opinion. So I've been sort of wrestling with this. Do you think that when, say you go to a spot, right, and you've got, I'll use one of my spots or my spot for example. I've got two bucks that are 5+,
Hmm.
gonna be smart, right? Um, but there's also a lot of does.
Yeah.
Do you think opening day, say I go out there, I'm just like, I just want to kill something and I shoot a doe. Do you think the idea of shooting a doe at a quote unquote buck spot actually hurts the property? Or do you think it really doesn't matter?
I don't think it matters. I think we all take into account the whole. I mean, I think pressure is real,
Yeah.
but not like early season. I think it's more beneficial for you to become a better hunter, and you become a better hunter by shooting more deer.
Yeah.
And early season, if you're whacking does and pulling them off, I mean, there's a good chance if you're seeing a buck in August, he's going to disappear for a little while anyway. And a
Yeah.
lot of times they'll come back to that property for the rut. And, the big problem we have in North Carolina right now is a lot of people aren't shooting does because some of the laws that have been put in place, and we are just so overrun with doe. Like I had a property last year, it was 40-acre property, and I had one hunt where I counted 22 different doe.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and we finally started shooting some of them, but that's what I'm going to do early season is I'm going to go out with the sole mission to thin some of those numbers out, because I think you take stress off the buck, because like let's say you have two dominant bucks on the property and there's that many doe around, they feel like they got to go breed every doe, so they're just running around stressed out, and they're going to be bedded up a lot more than they're going to be running around. So
That's a good point.
yeah, I think anytime you can go out early season, shoot some deer, you become a better bow hunter, because you can shoot at a target all day long.
Yeah.
You can't replicate the heartbeat. You can't replicate the adrenaline. You can't replicate when to draw, when to release, none of that.
Yeah.
You only do that by shooting deer. So
yeah, I've tried to replicate it for years and it doesn't work. I've done push-ups. I've ran laps around the house. I've chased my cats and they've chased me. It just doesn't work. It does not work at all.
The biggest mistake I hear with like new bow hunters is they will go out and they're like, I'm only bow hunting. I'm only shooting bucks. I'm only doing this. You don't know what's what until you do it.
Yeah.
So your goal, if you're a new bow hunter, every hunt, in my opinion, should be to kill a deer.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree.
And it doesn't matter what the deer is. Yeah. Like who cares what anyone else thinks? There's a bunch of idiots out there that want to, be keyboard warriors and stuff like that. I mean, like if I'm on a property, like my West Virginia property, we have 20 guys, we have 15,000 acres. We have rules, but we're all paying a lot of money to be there.
Yeah.
So you have to have rules. But if it's your 40 acres and that's all you get to hunt and you hunt once a week, who cares what anyone thinks?
Yeah.
Go out and do what makes you happy.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with like social media, is we've gone from, and I've been guilty of this too. Like I said, I used to say, I'm not shooting anything under 125. I want to Pope and Young. I want to do this. I want to be this deer hunter or whatever. And, you post a spike. I mean, what was crazy is I post that spike last year, fully expecting people to be like, oh man, why'd you shoot a spike? I didn't get a single negative comment. So that was kind of refreshing.
No, that's good.
And
that's great.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because I said, haven't shot a buck in 3 years and the Lord sent this one. So I took it. I don't know if it's got something to do with that or just the fact that maybe people are kind of waking up and realizing like, dude, we shouldn't be tearing each other down,
I mean, bow hunting is hard.
Yeah.
Anyone who says it's not has never done it. I mean, anytime you get a deer with a bow, it's an accomplishment and it should be celebrated. And I think what kind of put fuel to the fire for so many years was guys would post a picture and then somebody would belittle the deer and then they would be like, well, they thought they had to explain it. You don't have to explain it to nobody. Yeah. I mean, if you did it legally, go get the deer. I mean, I shot this one this year. Biggest 6-pointer I've ever killed.
Oh, wow.
And when he was walking out, I was in West Virginia. I was like, man, I've got bigger deer on camera. What am I doing? It was literally my first hunt in November up there. And I've been hunting up there for 3 or 4 years now. And I was like, man, I haven't killed one up here. I was like, screw it, I'm shooting. And I was damn proud of that deer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I love, this is the conclusion I've come to. I like shooting deer.
Yeah.
I cannot stand them being alive around me. I mean, I know I'm probably stealing that quote from somebody, but I can't stand it. I like shooting deer. Yeah. I like shooting big deer. And I have properties where I chase big deer. Most of that is out of state for me. But like around here, I might fill all my tags in September this year. I don't know.
That'd be great.
I just, which would free me up to travel more during the rut.
Yeah. So, well, and the thing is, people want, and I absolutely love like the hunting content that we have these days, like the Seek
Yeah.
One stuff and
Oh yeah.
like Bone Collectors still doing their thing, Real Tree Road Trips, all of that. Everything that I watch, especially like the Working Class Unhinged series, that I love watching that stuff. It's all big stuff. It's cool to see. The
Yeah.
problem is people that don't know, especially the newer guys, they see that, they see Lee Ellis kill his fifth 200 in 5 years, and they're like, "Oh, dude, I want to do that." They don't realize really what the work is to go into that. Like that's a year's worth of door knocking and traveling and being away and spending a ton of money and all this other stuff. And Lee's got like the experience to be able to do that and the time to be able to do that. Your weekend warrior guy is not going to do that. It's I'm not saying it's impossible. You might get lucky, but as a weekend warrior, I don't have the time to go do it. So,
Yeah. I think a lot of people look at, some of the people you just named, and they think that they would insult you if you shot a certain deer.
yeah,
They may joke about it, they may do something like that, but they would also be the first people to come out and help you drag it out because
100%.
they are incredible ambassadors, all the people you just named. And I think what people do is they see most of the people, I've learned this, most people that talk junk about your deer have never killed a deer.
Yeah.
There are these people that watch all these videos and everything. Like, I think, in my opinion, I think Lee is one of the greatest ambassadors we can have for hunting because he just seems, I don't know him personally or anything, but he just seems so real.
Yeah.
And he gets more hate than anyone. He's probably the biggest name in hunting right now. And if you look at some of the comments, that's a pin raised deer, blah, blah, blah. Could not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job of just kind of brushing it off and doing his thing. And that gets back to every hunter has to have their own journey. Um, there may be deer that I pass next year that if I saw you pass it, I would be enraged at you.
Yeah.
I'd be like, why did you pass that? And I tell people when they come to my properties, it's different for each person and their experience level, but there's some people shoot whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that joy away from me.
Well, the thing is, like, comparing, I don't mean to cut you off, but it goes right to your point. Like, I've seen one deer in my entire hunting career on the hoof that was just massive,
Yeah,
right? It was my second year hunting. It was at
yeah.
least 160-inch deer. It was on public. Never thought that I'd see something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, the me back then could not have handled that deer. If he
Yeah,
was standing in front of me at 20 yards, the inexperience that I had and all of that, I never would have been able to make it happen. I don't even
yeah,
know if I could do it now. I
yeah,
mean, dude, I get like my knees disappear when I see a buck in front of me. It's even
yeah.
worse when I see a doe. I don't know what it is, but like
There, there
it
is no more skittish deer in the southeastern woods than a doe walking up to a corn pile,
oh
and
yeah,
I will stand on that business. And
yep,
there's so many people like I have the privilege to hunt a lot in the Midwest, and I love hunting in the Midwest. I love that there's no bait out there.
yeah,
But if you're hunting in the southeast, you either have a lot of bait out or your neighbor does.
yep,
And if you don't have a lot of bait out, you still have a chance to go kill a deer, but you're just not going to see the volume of deer, if any deer.
yeah,
And when a white-tailed doe in North Carolina is walking up to a corn pile, that is a challenge.
yeah,
That is a challenge because she is so skittish. I mean, fawns here are born looking up. So, like, that's why I say, especially early season, man, go out and shoot as many deer as you can. And that is how you become a good bow hunter.
yeah. I mean, you just gain the
Yeah.
experience by doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to get your thoughts on some of the things that have been happening, I guess, in the hunting world lately. I did an episode a few weeks ago about the Michigan changes.
Hmm.
Talking about how, like, I personally think Georgia should go to a 1 buck state with a earn a buck system because we have the same problem as you guys.
Yeah.
Nobody is shooting does. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you get the seek one doe day, but one day out of the whole season is not going to,
Yeah.
change up, I guess, the percentages of buck to doe ratio. Um, so I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that 1 buck in general is kind of better, or do you think like how many bucks do you guys get in North Carolina? Three?
We get two, and we get four doe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of deer. But
Dude, we get 10 doe and $2. That's insane. I thought y'all would
yeah,
have been higher than that.
yeah. I mean, they do have CWD counties here where
Mm,
you can get, a bunch of CWD tags. But yeah, I actually really like the $1 system. I wish Missouri would go to $1 selfishly because,
it's not.
Missouri, no, it's $2. I mean, you
Oh,
can
wow.
shoot, well, you can shoot $1 during archery and you can shoot $1 during gun season.
Oh, okay.
But I think, but I love the earn a buck system. I think the only way that we get people back into deer hunting is to incentivize them to shoot does.
Yeah.
And I'm all for making it the largest number possible. I think, like in North Carolina, I would love it to be you can shoot $1 whenever you want. But if you kill 3 does, you get your second buck. Um, I just think we have such a problem. And, there are a lot of the counties that are very overpopulated. They had like transportation laws where you can't take the deer home because of CWD. So a lot of people didn't want to be out in the woods and they didn't want to, be cleaning a doe at
Yeah.
9 p.m. and get home late and everything. So, um, yeah, I'm all for that. I think you'll see like Michigan. I bet you in 5, 6 years it's going to be a destination state.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
already know that they've got in Southern Michigan for sure, they've got giants.
yeah,
And so it just kind of makes sense because like one of my buddies posted on this Georgia hunting page on Facebook like a week ago. Dude loves to stir the pot, so of course he posts one of the things that I was talking about with the
yeah,
Ernebuck system.
yeah,
And I was reading the comments and like everybody on there, I'm not gonna say everybody, it was probably 50-50, but a lot of them were, no, let's keep it $2 or I like the $1 system. And I went on there, I'm like, guys, if we went to a $1 system, now you can still shoot that spike if you want to. But
yeah,
if you're like pretty much every single deer hunter out there, you want the big buck. Well, guess what? If you're only shooting one, that means the one that you would have shot is going to live.
yeah,
And I mean, I've got proof right now. Bucks I didn't kill last year, they're a lot bigger. That's what they
yeah,
do if they live. And I feel like we've gotten into a spot down, especially down in the South, where it's like, the brown is down mentality.
yeah,
I mean, I'm all for it. If you're doing that to put food on the table, fine. But I don't know. There's a few changes I'd like to make. I mean, this whole antlerless, antlered thing, I think it needs to be buck tag, doe tag. That way
yeah,
button heads aren't getting shot on purpose.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of different things I would like to see changed, but I'm just one fish in a giant pond. So
The thing that frustrates me sometimes is the people that like. Don't get me wrong. I love deer meat,
yeah,
and we eat a lot of it in my house, especially now that my son's killing deer. But when somebody says, this is what I feed my family with, well, let's do a 10-year study. How many bucks have you killed and how many doe have you killed? And if you're
yeah,
not using your doe tags, then you're really not worried about feeding your family.
yep,
And granted, if the law says that you can shoot what you want when you want, I'm never going to back a guy into a corner and shame him for that buck.
yeah,
But who would not like to shoot a big buck? And who would not like to see a healthier deer herd? Who would not like to see a more active rut? And the only way we make that happen is by being true conservationists and taking out the amount of does that the state has allotted for us to take.
yeah,
And, we like, I left 2 tags on the table last year. And, I'm not going to do that this year. I'm going to make sure
yeah.
I get them down early. So,
See, that's what kills me, man, is like I left 9 tags on the table, but not because of lack of trying,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I mean, I saw more baby deer last year than I did. Actually, I'm pretty sure I only almost saw baby deer and like young spikes and stuff the whole season.
yeah,
It was a weird
yeah,
season, so I'm kind of writing that one off. The year before, I saw plenty, but it's I get a little annoyed when I see a lot of people be like, "Oh man, I want to get this buck or the." I'm like, guys, some of us out here,
yeah,
because a lot of Georgians will give it up about end of November, and we
yeah,
still have 2 months of deer season after that. I'm out there with my bow in cold, windy weather, like trying to at least kill
yeah,
something, and then they want to start talking about people not shooting does. And I'm sitting here like, dude, why aren't y'all shooting these does?
Yeah.
Because again, they just, like you said, they're just after the buck. And
Yeah.
once they get the buck, their season's over. And it's like, why do
Yeah.
we have 12 tags if we're not even going to use them?
Yeah. I mean,
Give me the tags. Put me someplace that's got 35
yeah.
does. I'll take them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
I don't know, man. And I did have a place that every single time I went, there were does. And I'll admit, I passed them up. I
Yeah.
also shot 4 does on that property in 1 year, mainly because I'm like, well, this buck's, I haven't seen him in 5 days. I want to kill something. So, it's just,
I think we've all become too reliant on the processor, right? You know,
yeah, I definitely
and
have.
and like one thing I tried to do last year was like I made sure that the properties that I was hunting the most, I had somewhere to hang it. I had a system to where I could debone it very quickly.
Yeah.
I had a way to get rid of the carcass legally. And I had bags to put the meat in, put it on ice, take it home. And that way, because that's what happens is you start calculating in your head, how long is this going to take? Is the processor going to have availability? Are they going to do this? And we become so reliant on a part in a step in hunting that can be enjoyable. Like
Yeah.
my son last year, the last deer that he got, he looked at me on his own. He said, "Dad, if I'm man enough to shoot it, I need to know how to clean it."
That's a good kid right there.
And I looked at him and said, "Okay." And it took a long time.
Yeah.
But I was walking him through it and he wasn't grossed out by the guts or anything like that. And
Awesome.
I think we have a whole generation that just takes it to a processor. And processors fill up in November.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and
Mine
we
always fills up. I'm guilty of it too. Like,
yeah,
Thomas, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've gotten so spoiled. I don't even gut the deer anymore, mainly
yeah,
because it's like, I'll pay the 40 bucks,
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was telling my buddy Josh, I was like, dude, I hate to say this. You might have to run me through it again because it's been 4 years since I've done it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
Well,
gotten
and
that bad.
you don't this goes back to shooting does.
Yeah.
Everything, every aspect of hunting you get better at by
Yeah.
putting more animals in a cooler.
So what
And
you're saying is I need to gut my own deer this year.
well, I mean,
Got it.
sometimes you don't have time, right? But
Yeah.
like if you can, I think it's just a step that, adds to the whole romance of hunting.
Yeah.
Um, it's something that I invested in a slicer, I invested in a good grinder. I actually made my own summer sausage last year,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's fun to take stuff to people, let them try it, let them be introduced to venison, and know that I did it all.
Yeah.
Um, so
See, I
uh,
think what it was for me is like the last deer that I processed myself. Um, God, you know what? It might have been this buck that's over here. You can't see him in the frame, but um, I made deer tacos one night.
yeah,
I pull the meat out, throw it on the pan, whatever, and put it all together and start feeding Jess and Tiff. And Tiffany takes a bite, and there was a hair in it still.
oh yeah,
And then Jess took a bite, and there was a hair in it still. And they looked at me, they're like, "Did you not? Why are there hairs?" I'm like, "Well, okay, first off, it's a deer. I don't know if you know or not. They're pretty hairy."
yeah,
And ever since then, I've always taken it to the processor. We've never had that problem. So again, it goes back to what you were saying. Like the more deer you kill, the better you get at it.
yeah, yeah. I
It was
mean,
just really funny.
you don't
Like,
have to like people don't need to do it every time, right? But I
yeah,
just think it's a step in, you know, you should at least teach a kid how to do it. You should at least know how to do it,
yeah,
so that if you're in that position, because that's probably the number one reason why we don't shoot enough does, is we go, I don't have time. I don't want to mess with it. There's not a processor close. There's
yeah,
not a processor open,
yeah,
and that's why we don't do it. And I think we should at least have the option. And I think it goes into pre-planning. You should plan as if you're going to kill every time and have a plan.
yeah,
Like I know guys that'll show up, they'll shoot one, they don't have a cooler, they don't have a knife, nothing. And I'm
yeah.
like, well, what was your plan? You know, I
I don't
mean,
think I was going to kill nothing.
yeah, I mean,
Well, and
I
what are we
get,
gonna do? Like, if things hit the fan, and I mean, granted, this is like very dramatic, but we don't know what's gonna happen 5 years from now. What are we gonna
yeah,
do if society collapses and we actually have to hunt for food? You need to know how to process that thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that was my biggest fear when I first started hunting was what if I accidentally get one? You
I've,
know,
dude, I've
it
been
was
there.
like, what am I going to do? I don't know. And that's what I try to, if I've got a new hunter with me, I try to walk them through that whole process so they have the confidence that if they ever go out on their own, they at least know what to do if they get one.
Yeah,
So,
that's funny, man. You just
yeah.
made me realize something about myself I didn't even know.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, I really am spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. So, what are your thoughts on the Oregon stuff? You been keeping up with that?
Yeah, it's scary, man. And it's something I've actually kind of been thinking a lot about. It's something I'm 41 years old, or I'll be 41 next week.
Oh, well, happy
It's
early
some,
birthday.
well, thank you. It's something I think that all of us for years have said, stop the infighting, stop the infighting, stop
Yeah.
this, stop that. Um, there are people, and there's a lot of them, 1.2 million in Oregon,
Hmm.
who want hunting gone. They want this way of life gone. I think it's so much deeper than just hunting. They want mental health gone. They want all sanity gone. They want
Yep.
every damn thing that's good gone. And I think it's something that we need to fight. We have a lot of good organizations in hunting, NWTF, the NRA, I consider to be part of hunting. There's a lot of other good organizations that are probably going to fight this in the courts if it does go to a vote.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's serious, and it's we're one generation away from losing it.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to do everything we can if you have any type of voice to speak out against it. Um, yeah, I
Well, I
don't
mean,
like
just
it.
think of like I was talking to a buddy of mine about it this morning, right? Because it's been on my mind too.
Yeah,
And I have to be blunt with it. Like, I'm not surprised. I knew this was coming. The second that they started making everything legal there, all the
yeah,
drugs are legal. There's no police system anymore. Like, that
yeah,
whole state is falling apart.
yeah,
And I can't remember if Cam Haynes lives there. I think he does. And I'm just like, I mean, I know he travels, but it's like, bro, what are you going to do if you want to go hunt blacktail and you can't? Yeah, you could
yeah,
go somewhere else, but are you saying anything? And I haven't been following Cam. I'm sure he said some stuff about it, but
yeah,
it's just like, if Oregon does it, it's to me, it's going to go one of two ways. Either they're going to do it and the initial result is going to be no one's going to see a change. So now other states are going to look at it. We'll see California start doing it. We'll see Washington start doing it. It's going to start moving east. And I think by the time it makes its way to us, that's when you start seeing the negative effects. There's going to be too many deer. They're going to be starving. There's going to be disease, or people are going to be hitting them with their cars. And then they're going to be calling us back and saying, okay, we need you guys.
yeah,
And it's going to be a free for all. And all those states are going to be like, OTC for everyone. They're $20 a piece. You can shoot 50 deer because we have so many. We need these
yeah,
things to go away.
yeah,
That's the positive side. The
yeah.
negative side is it sweeps the whole nation. And I know down here in the South, it's going to be very difficult to do. But
It's not something that I per se super worry about in the South. We got too many rednecks that are crazy.
yeah,
And
which they would
it's
do it anyway, even if it was
yeah,
illegal.
yeah. I mean, you
Like,
you can take it away if you want. They're
yeah,
going to do
I'll
it
be the
anyway.
first to say publicly
Yeah,
if they do that here,
yeah.
I'm still going.
I'd still hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not going to
Um,
take that God given right away.
no, no. So it'll be interesting to see. They have enough. I think they have enough people that have signed it to bring it to a vote. Um, so we'll see. It's going to come to the people now. We'll see how democracy works. If we still even have a democracy. But
Yeah.
it's there's just a lot going on in our country right now that's scary, and this is definitely a big one for me, and hopefully we can defeat it. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to sit here and say that if that happens, that we're just going to start seeing monster blacktails, but knowing how
yeah,
comparing what I think their ecosystem would be compared to ours,
yeah, yeah,
it's going to be devastating. Because I mean,
yeah.
isn't so Oregon's got, and I don't know how much you know about the whole thing, but like, I can't remember. Did they outlaw predator hunting over there?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
I
Yeah,
know somewhere did recently, and everyone's like, what are you doing? Because the
Yeah,
black bear population, brown bears, all that stuff, all the predators are just out of control. And they're like, yeah, you can't kill these beautiful creatures. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, until they eat your chihuahua. And then what?
yeah. Oh
Then what do
yeah,
you want to do?
yeah,
You're going to hire
yeah. I
sharpshooters?
think
Like,
there was a state that outlawed mountain lion hunting,
yeah,
but
yeah, that's what it was.
I don't remember which place it was. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I don't have to deal with mountain lions, but
Yeah. I mean, it's
yeah,
just crazy that we're here,
yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah,
I never thought in my lifetime. I mean, granted, the past 10 years, maybe I could have been like, yeah, eventually that might happen, but
yeah,
not really believing it. But now that I'm seeing it, it's like,
yeah.
dude, is anyone going to go in there and do anything? I mean, I don't know if anyone in the government spoke up about it, but like,
Yeah,
what are we
I
thinking?
think there's a lot of organizations like, some of the ones I just named that do
Yeah.
things on the back end. You know,
Okay.
they'll with different lawsuits or whatever, they'll find a way to get it in front of the Supreme Court or something like that. I think one huge advocate we have is Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
He's an avid outdoorsman, so I'm sure he's very aware of all this, and probably knows a few important people to get involved.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think there's a lot of states right now that are testing the waters. They're seeing what laws they can put in to limit what a hunter does. And, you know, yeah, we're in a weird place in this country because I, like, for instance, I think it is okay for a hunter to have an opinion. I
Yeah.
think it is okay to not like a certain method of hunting, but I don't think it's okay to hate someone over an opinion,
100%.
either for or against. I think it's okay to have open debate in this country and
Yeah.
talk about things where we have gone totally down the crapper is we generalize if you believe this or you believe this, you are this or you are this.
Yeah.
And I hate you if you believe this, and I hate you if you believe this. And we no longer have open debate about anything. And you'll see people, get their panties in a wad because somebody says something about a certain method of hunting, but that's just their opinion.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to have an opinion. It's the United States of America. That's not, in my opinion, that's not like fighting. It's somebody who truly believes in conservation and wants to see it thrive. And that's why they have the opinion, but that's also why they might have that opinion.
Yeah.
And you need to like be able to talk to each other about things and find a common ground. And the common ground is we all love being in nature and we all love, pursuing critters that God put on this earth for us to eat,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I feel like it goes even further than hunting because, I mean, look at Charlie Kirk.
oh yeah,
I mean, that I think for me personally was like, I've never gotten emotional over like some high profile person passing away or getting killed. I mean, yes, it sucks. I definitely don't enjoy it, right? But when that
yeah,
happened, it was different. And ever since then, I've started seeing more and more. I don't want to say radical or anything like that, but
yeah,
I feel like that was kind of the the proof that we needed, like the regular, normal thinking people that we needed. It's like, oh, I could get shot because I disagree with this person. That's insane. Like, why
yeah,
are we there? And with hunting too, I mean, it's all over Facebook, it's all over everything. People literally will. I've seen so many people get pissed off that people reap turkeys, and I didn't even know what reaping was. Like, I'm
yeah,
not a turkey hunter, right? So I looked it up. I'm like, why do you care?
yeah.
It's
Well,
legal. Why do you
the
care?
people that get pissed off about that have never tried it. I mean,
Yeah,
my
see,
fat
that's the
ass
thing.
tried to do it several times, and the turkey saw me and ran off right away. So I mean, it, you know, it's if they think it's a slam dunk, it's not. But
Yeah,
like, there's just so many different things in hunting where it's okay to like. I understand why a turkey enthusiast is against it. I also
yeah,
understand why somebody wants to do it. But like to hate each other over something as simple as that when you're both hunters just doing what God gave you a right to do, what we were honestly, in my opinion, born to do is
yeah,
to go out and, bring home food to our families. It makes no sense. Just have a debate about it and move on. Don't hate
yeah.
somebody over it.
Well, and
So
like I always looked at like I look at hunting as a very, very important thing. Like it's extremely important to me, but I also looked at it like if you really look in the grand scheme of society, guys
mhm.
like Michael Waddell, as famous as he is in our space, I know people that don't know who he is.
Yeah,
And I'm like, how is it now with this whole Oregon thing? How is it now that hunting is at the forefront? I didn't even think people really cared. Like what? Because my outlook is if I'm in the woods and I'm trying to get a food source that is healthier than anything that's at Kroger, Walmart, whatever, why do you care? You know
they
what I mean?
fear us. They fear us.
That's probably what it is.
I think they fear us because they don't know us. They don't understand us. They think that we're out there just to kill. They
Yeah.
they have no idea that when I plant a food plot, I take one deer off of it and I
Yeah.
feed 30 others the rest of winter. Um, it's they have a fear of somebody who has the guts to walk 2 miles into the woods in the dark and doesn't care about predators, who sits in a stand and prays to God and is at peace. They fear a man like that who is confident in himself. And that fear, all they know how to do is legislate. All they know how to
Yeah.
do is make a new law to try to hold us back, to try to put us all in this bubble. And the good news is there's millions of us, and they're not going to do it
Yeah.
because I fear no man.
Yeah.
I fear God, and when I was younger, I would be so scared walking to the stand in the dark, and now I don't even think about it because if I'm supposed to die on the way to the stand, that's when I'm supposed to die,
Yep.
and it, I'm okay with that. So
Yeah. It took me a while to get to that, especially on public land when
yeah,
it's pitch black and I've got
yeah,
15 feet of light in front of me and I hear twigs snapping.
yeah,
Granted, I would psych myself out so bad. I'm like, oh, dude, Bigfoot's following me. I'm done.
yeah,
Right? Like just the
yeah,
worst thing you could think of. And now it's like, I don't even care. You know,
yeah,
like you said,
yeah,
if it's my time, it's my time. If not, I'll be
yeah,
perfectly fine.
yeah,
And I guess that mindset does scare some people because they're just scared. Life is scary to them, which I feel for them. I do, but it's like, man, I feel like if we could get them out there, you know, and just say, look, this is what we do. We're not a bunch of
yeah,
Elmer Fuds,
yeah,
just looking at a camera and be like, shh, be very, very quiet. Like we're not all
yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
We care more about the resource than PETA does. I know that.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like I don't know. I had an argument with my I guess you could call it by law, she's my mother-in-law. We don't see them. Um But what we went over for dinner a few years back, and she was like, I mentioned something about deer hunting. And she's like, "How could you ever shoot Bambi?" I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "Do you really want to have this conversation right now?" And
Mm,
she was like, "I just don't understand." I'm like, "Let me explain. I feed these deer every single week. All right.
yeah,
If I wanted to shoot every single deer I saw, I could, but I don't. I don't shoot them does with fawns. I don't shoot fawns. I respect these deer. I've respected these deer my entire life. I respect all of the animals that I see. If I was just
yeah,
some bloodthirsty killer, I'd have 1,000 squirrels on my wall or in my
yeah,
freezer, or you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
she was like, "Well, I just don't understand." I was like, "What you don't understand is that killing is actually the worst part. I don't enjoy it,
yeah,
but it's what we have to do." And she obviously I didn't change her mind, and we haven't seen them in, I mean, I haven't seen her in like 4 or 5 years, but
yeah.
it's just crazy, man. Like, I wonder if some people just can't understand that, you know?
Well, they don't understand that vegans kill more animals than anyone else.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, all their vegetable fields, get sprayed for
Yep.
beetles. It
How
gets,
many bugs die? How many mice
yeah,
die?
yeah. I mean, it's there's a circle of life, and you're part of it.
Yeah.
So
And death
it's,
is part of it.
yeah, yeah,
Because if that's one argument I gave to her. I was like, "Do you understand that there are coyotes out there?" She
yeah.
goes, "Yeah, they're cute too." I was like, "I agree. I love coyotes. I think they're beautiful animals.
I hate them.
Problem is, a coyote is going to eat a deer backwards,
Yeah, yeah,
and that deer's not going to be dead." And she was like,
yeah,
"Oh," I was like, "Yeah, exactly. What
yeah,
I'm doing, that deer's dead in 30 seconds. Probably has no idea what happened.
yeah.
But a coyote, that deer experiences everything. So you tell me what's worse." I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
"Yes, that's nature, but so am I."
yeah,
So it's just, I don't know, man. I can get really fired up by it because it's just ridiculous. And
yeah,
you can, I've thrown scripture at people being like, "Oh, hey, by the way, Acts 10:13, go check that out." And
yeah,
it's like they don't want to hear it, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah. And there's some people you're just never going to change their mind, and some people are just unhappy. And those people that are just unhappy, they want everyone to be unhappy with them.
Yep.
And you can't help somebody like that. So, sometimes you just have to brush it off and just move on and know that you stand firm in your beliefs and that, would I fight for this way of life? Is deer hunting or hunting, period, something that I think about that is ingrained in my soul and part of my life? Yes. I can't imagine life without it.
Yeah.
And that scares me because turning 41, stuff's harder. It hurts. And I know one day my last hunt will happen. But until that happens, I will do everything I can to keep this around for generations to come.
Yeah.
And not that I have a super big voice or anything, but I will, the little bit of voice I have, it will be loud
Yeah.
for
I mean,
hunters'
I've
rights.
seen
And
your TikTok numbers are pretty high. So I'd say
well,
that you got
sometimes, yeah,
pretty decent voice. No,
yeah,
I agree. I mean, I'll tell you right now, they try to bring that stuff to Georgia. I'll be the first one on that podium being like, this will not happen.
it's
And I'll
not,
tell them straight to their face,
yeah,
understand, you can pass whatever law you want,
yeah,
but every single guy in this room is going to still go hunt deer. So I hope
yeah,
you got a big enough jail cell and good luck
yeah,
catching us.
yeah,
Right.
for
Like,
real, for real.
but on a lighter note, let's talk about Israel. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally
You
kidding.
don't want my opinions
No,
on that. Yeah,
I try to keep that out of this, but
yeah, yeah,
man. So, all right. Well, God, dude, we need to do another one where we're not a little bit time constraint.
yeah, for real.
But I want to end this episode on a positive note. So, what do you have planned other than that hunt with your son this year?
I will be, so I'm really excited about this season because I'm going to get to do something that I haven't done in 7 years. Um, I don't have anything planned, but I know that I'm going.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm excited about it is I'll be in Illinois, I'll be in West Virginia, I'll probably be in Texas again. And the reason I don't have anything planned is I feel like the weather over the past 3, 4 years, that second week in November was just always beautiful in November,
Yeah,
but it's gotten really hot.
it has.
It's
That's true.
gotten really hot. And I feel like sometimes towards the end of the month is better, towards the beginning of the month is better. So this year, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to be watching cameras and I'm going to be going. I've saved up a bunch of vacation when the weather's right, even if it switches at 10 p.m.
Hmm.
And my wife has already been notified about this and is cool
I
with
was gonna
it.
say, did you talk to the boss?
Yeah, like it'll take me 9 hours to get to where I'm going to hunt in Illinois. It takes me 4 hours to get to where I hunt in West Virginia. When the weather's right and when the deer's showing up, I'm going.
Dude.
So I'm really looking forward to it because I feel like I'm not going to be constrained to a trip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna trust my instincts. And I've got a couple of properties here in North Carolina. I'm always gone. And like I believe in history more than scouting,
Yep.
especially if you've been on properties as long as I have. And I've got properties in North Carolina that October 27th through November 3rd, I can tell you exactly the scrape line that these deer are going to be on. And if I
Yep.
sit there all day for 6 days, I will kill them.
Dude.
Like
That is like magic time.
I don't even doubt it. I
Yeah.
know I will kill them. They're on, it may not be a deer that I know or something, but something big will show on these properties. And I just got to put my time in and I've got the ability to do it with not having, because last year killed me, man. I was so excited going into the season, but I had 3 different trips. I was in Missouri for a week. I was home for a week. I was in West Virginia for a week. I was home for a week. And then I was in Texas for a week. And by the time I got home, don't get me wrong, it was awesome,
Yeah.
but I was completely drained.
Oh yeah. I bet.
And then December, I killed some. What did I kill in December? I killed a couple does, I think, or maybe one doe, and my son got a couple deer. But
Yeah.
I was kind of over it. I just burned myself out. So I think having the element of trusting my instincts, following cameras, that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So
Yeah, that is God, that's gonna be so sick. I can't wait to see what you do with that. But I will say
yeah,
the October last see, I've got a I don't want to say a theory. It's pretty much a fact to me now, but definitely the last week of October and the first week of
Yeah.
November in the South is like the time,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because I always say that. And then next thing I know, it's that time. And I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I've pretty much made the plan this year. I'm just going to hit public early season unless these bucks are showing up. Because the last year was, I don't know about up there where you guys are, but down here, our acorn crop was insane and it was hot.
It was
And
insane everywhere except for my properties. It was the weirdest thing. Like I
yeah,
had all my friends calling me, I've never seen a mass crop like this. And I'm like, I just walked my whole property, looked at all 336 oak trees and didn't find one damn acorn. Like I
yeah.
get it. I know it's bad. And that hurt me because they were everywhere else until I was out of town
Hmm.
all of November. And that's when I'm sitting in a tree in West Virginia. I'm like, yeah, I would have shot him. Yep, would have shot him. You know, so it's,
Yeah, I just look at last year and say it's a wash, man.
yeah,
Like I went and I got drawn for a quota hunt, hunted a really good spot that I know there's usually deer, didn't see a single thing. The
uh,
property I had 8 shooter bucks on. Now these are all deer over 110 inches,
yep,
right?
yep,
I had a couple that were probably pushing 140.
yep,
And I didn't know at the time the neighbor was actually building a ground blind or a box blind during deer season, which you tell me how that makes sense, but whatever. Um, and they all disappeared. I had
yeah,
one buck the whole time, like literally end of October to probably end of November. One whole
yeah,
month, one buck that was showing up that was I would have shot him. And he broke his rack. But I was
yeah,
like, I'll kill him anyway.
yeah,
And typically on that property, that doesn't happen.
yeah,
I mean, the year before I had bucks in there all the time. So it's just that, pressure and going to feed every single week, multiple times a week. Like I got a little too excited.
yeah.
But you're right about like the history of things and just I I I know that those deer are in there. So
I mean, so like that property I was just talking about,
yeah.
6 years ago, I was walking in and literally 150 yards from where I parked, I saw this scrape line. So I threw a camera on it and I left it alone that season. And it was just every day, daylight photos, every day. And I kind of just didn't think about it for a couple of years. And then I was like, you know what? I think that, I mean, I knew there was good bedding. I knew there was good water. I knew there was good food right there.
Yeah.
Three things that you need. And I was like, and also, they see me when I pull up. So I started parking in a different place and I started hunting that area. And I've killed 3 bucks on that scrape line, 100, 150 yards from where I used to park.
Yeah.
So it's, you just got to kind of pay attention to stuff like that. And it's funny because it's different deer. I rarely see the same deer on this property year to
Yeah.
year. I had one that I chased for 2 seasons. He ended up getting killed by the neighbor. I called him after he killed it. I said, I'm so happy you killed that deer. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, I've hunted him 64 times. I'm so glad that you killed him.
Yeah.
Because it's over.
He's finally gone.
Yeah. So, but
That's crazy, man. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
So,
know. It's just crazy, like, because I've never had a year like last year. I've
yeah.
always been told if you got acorns, you're good.
Yeah.
And in that spot, they're usually that they drop late September, or no, I'd say mid-October is when they drop. And so I started seeing them and was like, oh, dude, they're gonna be in here. Not a thing.
If you
And
have
so
acorns and you have corn, you're better.
well, I had both and
Yeah.
nothing was showing up. And so I
Yeah.
went to my taxidermist and I forget, I think it was actually when I killed that spike. And I asked him, I was like, are you seeing this too? Is it just me? Like, am I messing something up? He goes, dude, it's the whole state.
Yeah.
It's
I think
hot
they were
and
just
there's
staying
food.
deeper in the woods because there was so much natural food.
Yeah. He told me there, he was
Yeah.
like, they're staying in the oak bottoms. If you
Yeah.
can't, and the smart ones are going to find a spot that there's food, there's does, there's cover, the wind
Yeah.
is in their favor. You're never going to get them.
Yeah.
And it was true. I mean, when I hunted public last year, I was actually mobile for once, and because I'm trying to get into the whole mobile game,
Yeah.
and I found a really good spot. But There was a thunderstorm that came through. There was a lot of reasons why it didn't work out.
Yeah.
That and the week or 2 weeks prior, it was cold and most of the bucks either got killed or spooked, and it wasn't a good setup, right? But
Yeah.
again, taking that history, knowing
Yeah.
what's around there,
Yeah.
you don't know what can
Dude,
happen.
one day it's going to click for you and you're
Yeah.
going to be like, because I think back to because I didn't really start hunting until I was 18.
Yeah.
And the first like 4 or 5 years that I hunted, I had a year where I literally went 32 times and saw no deer.
I've been there.
And then it just like started clicking and clicking and clicking. And, you just learn more and more and more. And
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm looking at my wall and I've got about 16 deer over 140 inches, and it's like, you just,
You
you,
what?
you have to just learn, um, where to be.
Yeah.
And it's not anything that you can hear on a podcast or anything, because nothing applies to your property except to your property.
Yeah.
And you've just got to, have that relationship with your property to know where you need to be, not where somebody said to be. Um, Me and Jordan, you were talking about Jordan, we both think this way. I do not look at the wind when I'm in the South. I don't look at it at all. I
Yeah.
go, I go to where the deer are because the wind changes direction 57 times.
Yeah.
And if you have a small property and you're out there baiting, they're getting used to your scent anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I thought that. And then opening day last year, I got in the stand. Or no, it was day after. And I actually told Cody this last week, and he had a good idea or a good philosophy on it that I'm curious what you think. But I was using scent control stuff. I've kind of gone away from that because, I mean, let's be honest, we're never going to beat their nose. So anyway, but yeah, I'm in the stand and like I see this. I know it was a doe afterwards, but I see this deer hoof about 60 yards away, and the only reason I saw it is because she was stomping. And so immediately I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me, right? Well, the weird part was the wind was not blowing in her direction, at least from what I could tell. And so I told Cody that, and he was like, dude, she smelled you. 100% she smelled you. Because, his idea was that deer are going to smell you regardless. They just have to make the decision to go in there because it doesn't feel like a threat.
well, and I think one thing that I've gotten better at over the years is I agree. They're probably going to smell you,
Yeah.
you know, but I have gotten better at hanging because I do all preset stands.
Hmm.
Lord knows how many tree stands I have out there. I'm sure there's 100 out there. I don't even know where they're at.
Yeah.
But I like to hang stuff where if they smell me, they can't see me.
Yep.
Because I think when they smell you, a lot of times they'll just keep walking and they won't even care about it. But if they look up and they see something that looks weird, I like to be in the lens. I like to be totally, and it takes a lot to hide 6'4", 270. But I just like to be totally engulfed to where if they look up there, it just looks like a big blob of a tree.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, there's some deer that get a whiff, they're gone. But some deer, they're going to scent check, and if they don't see anything, they'll keep coming in. So
Well, and like another thing that I learned, you were saying, you have to learn and things start to click. So last year, my setup, my mindset, I was only about 12 foot up, right? I wasn't that high. And that's kind of what I've adopted is hunting like that. But what I didn't know and what I have learned since then is I had stuff in front of me and below me. But when I say in front of me, I don't mean like in my face or anything like that. Like I looked at that tree this early off season when our green up happened.
mhm.
And even with the green up, I'm like, dude, of course they definitely saw me. It was there's a reason I didn't see any mature animals because they all knew that I was there. The younger ones didn't care. They didn't know. And
Yeah,
so I spent like just this past week, I put food out again and actually started seeing deer more consistently again. Um, and I spent probably 30 minutes when I was in there, like dissecting where I wanted to hang. And what's funny
yeah,
is my buddy used to hunt that spot. His stand is still there, but it's kind of sketchy, like it's
yeah,
a little rusted.
yeah,
I'm not going to get in it.
yeah,
But I picked that tree because I'm like, dude, if you look at it, I've got it's a single base tree, but then it's got two trunks splitting up.
Yeah.
He's on the back trunk. The other one is off to your right. Well, the deer typically do come from the right. And when I was looking at it from where the deer are at eye level with where their heads are, there's good cover next to it, to the left of it, and
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah.
So
Your
even
be-
if I'm there,
yeah.
I'm not getting skyline like I was.
Your best
So
bow hunting spots are where you think you don't have a shot.
yeah. And
Because
that's what I
if
was
you
thinking.
walk into woods and you go, this is beautiful. This is where the deer would be. They're not going to be there.
Yep.
You want to be in the gnarliest, most briars, nastiest crap possible. To where like you get up in a tree and you go, well, I've only got one shot here and one shot here. That's where you need to be.
Yep. And you just need to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm
but,
so excited for deer season, man.
oh, me too.
I really am. But look,
Yeah.
I know we're both on a time constraint,
Yep.
so we're gonna have to do another one where we have a little more free time. But why don't you go ahead and give us a shameless plug where everyone can find you? And
Yeah, I'm on all platforms. It's just Basement Decorator. I have not done as much this spring because I've been helping coach two baseball teams, but I'll be getting back in the swing of things as the season gets closer. And yeah, like we said at the beginning, if you're struggling with mental health, please reach out. I will talk to you as long as needed. I care about you, and other people do too. So there's never a good reason to do that. So,
amen to that, brother. Well, guys, it's another episode in the books. Remember, Christ is King. Go read your Bible and go shoot your bow.
yep. Thanks, man.